Josh in the video also says, quote, "I'm not letting her go to jail," end quote. Is he referring to Jennifer?
I'd like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Do you have any idea why he would be so adamant about protecting Jennifer?
I'd like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
After George's disappearance, were you involved in an incident with a young woman who claimed she was raped by one or more of you, Rusty, and Gregory?
I'd like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Were you involved?
I'd like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Was the event videotaped?
I would like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Do you know who has the tape?
If a tape exists, the FBI.
At some point, were you and your family asked by Royal Caribbean to leave the ship?
Yes.
Can you tell us why?
I'd like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Did your family sue the cruise line?
No.
Were the Askins asked to leave also?
If you remember.
Yes.
Do you know why?
I'd like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Do you know if they sued the cruise? And did you have immunity before the grand jury?
No,
Did not have immunity.
he did not.
Did you invoke your Fifth Amendment right in front of the grand jury?
Yes.
Yes.
So you didn't answer any of their questions?
He answered them in the initial investigation to the FBI. He wasn't granted immunity, therefore he invoked his Fifth Amendment, not to make any contradictory statements because it happened so long after that his initial statements were given to when the grand jury was convening.
Okay, so when you say initial statement, time attorney James Walker of Miami, Florida, believes that George was the victim of foul play.
Fifth
I'd
Amendment.
like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Are you also aware that he believes that one of the four of you, Rusty, Josh, or Gregory, killed George?
I'd like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Do you have any idea why he would make that assumption?
I'd like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Do you know how George Smith died?
I'd like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Do you know if George Smith was murdered?
I'd like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Do you know who killed George Smith?
I'd like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Do you have a belief as to how George Smith died?
I would like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
What is the basis for that belief?
I would like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Do you have a belief that George Smith was murdered?
I'd like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
What is the basis for that belief?
I would like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Do you have a belief as to how George went overboard?
I would like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
What is the basis for that belief?
I would like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Were you present when George was killed?
I would like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Did you play a part in the death of George Smith?
I would like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Gregory Rozenberg,
And what's your date of birth?
1/1/1987.
And how old are you right now?
I'm 23 years old.
Okay, and where are we right now?
Florida State Prison.
And why are you here in prison?
Trafficking.
Okay. And how much longer do you have to be here?
With good time, 16 months.
Okay, all right. And Gregory, what level of school? Do you know where Jennifer went?
I wish I did,
Okay. Do you know how come? Why do you wish that?
because I want to know what happened that night,
Okay.
honestly. Because I already explained to you, I've been through it and back. Accused of nothing. And that's the honest truth. Now, I'm not sit in front of this camera and say accused of something that I, through people in my neighborhood in Boca Raton and on the internet, and they blast my name. For what? Because I chose to try to help. That's why I want to know. I'd like to know. I wish I was good in law, because I'd make a point of it.
What would you ask Jennifer if you could?
Why she left, and where was she, and how do you end up in the spa, and then you say you had passed out in the solarium, and then whatever. I mean, there's a lot of things that go through your head in the last 4 or 5 years since that happened. We all grew up, you know what I'm saying?
So
But
something from that night just doesn't make sense.
none of it does. None of it makes sense.
You had met her that night, Jennifer, right? Do you know if Josh had spent any time with her prior to that night?
I don't know. To me, Josh was just one big bundle of a spoiled kid. At the time, he was, what, 20-something years old, 20, still living off his dad, and crybaby type dude. That's the honest. I used to tell him to his face, but we were partying, so.
Who ordered the room service?
I remember what we ate, but I don't remember who ordered it.
All right, what'd you eat?
Tuna fish sandwiches, I know that. We had like tuna fish sandwiches, and I think cheeseburgers. I know we had something that fast food type. We were infatuated with the fact that we could order whatever we want.
These were young kids on it.
Yeah.
Who was paying for it?
My dad. My dad was paying.
That's
my
why
dad was paying my share. I mean, whatever money I brought with me, that was mine. That's me. My dad don't want nothing to do with that.
Okay.
But whatever was on that card, the food is free. You know what I'm saying? That comes with the cruise.
Oh, I see. Okay. Did you guys order room service every night?
Yeah, food is free.
And you order a lot of it every night?
You can order whatever you want from there. The food is free, drinks are free. The only thing they charge you for is Coca-Cola and stuff, man. I'm Jewish, I'm gonna get juice.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, at some point, so someone ordered room service, how long did it take for the food to show up? Do you know?
No, I don't remember that.
Was it like 20 minutes or?
Probably around what it
Usually-
takes. It's pretty quiet at night, so they probably delivered it fast.
But you figure burger and stuff, they gotta cook it, so.
Yeah, tuna. I think it was mainly just tuna fish sandwiches with Swiss cheese and
Okay.
all types of stuff.
Who, now somebody took a picture of the food, right? Or took a picture of you guys or something?
I think Jeffrey took pictures of the other. We were taking pictures in the room. We were so drunk, and
Okay.
it took pictures of the food, how much food we ordered, and blah blah blah. I think the feds got those pictures.
All right, was that the only night that anybody took pictures of the food?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Memory.
Now, while this whole thing, this food fest was going on, did you leave the room?
No,
You
not that I
never left
remember.
the
No,
room? Because Josh claims that at some point you left the room. Never left the room. You were always there.
I was chilling.
Okay,
I
all right. Do you know why he would say that?
don't know. Left the room. You know, only time. Remember when we first got there? I went to go get Jeffrey to come hang out, maybe.
But he was the next, you guys were in the next room.
Next
right?
door.
Yeah.
I wasn't. If I did leave the room, wasn't for more than a minute or two or three.
But you never left the room and went anywhere else on the show,
Nah.
correct? Okay.
Nah.
All right.
And surveillance could prove that, man. If the crews got surveillance, they could prove everything, man.
What do you mean surveillance? Yeah. Okay.
Why would somebody want to go overboard? That's a millionaire anyway. Why would somebody want to kill himself? That has everything in life going for him.
Yeah.
Seems outgoing. Seems like he got a beautiful wife. Seems like he got a good family.
So you don't think it was an accident?
No.
All right, we're gonna get to that. She claimed that it wasn't consensual.
Yeah, and
You
it was
guys-
more than consensual. The tape proves it. Everything. She loving life. I'm
Okay.
gonna tell
All right,
honestly.
and that basically got you guys out of trouble.
Yes,
with
it
the
did.
tape,
Thank
right?
God I taped it because I feel she said something out of jealousy because at the time my cousins didn't know how to react to, I guess, a female or a woman's perspective. They started ignoring her and they opened their mouth about what went on, and I guess she just reacted in self-defense.
Your cousin said had sex with her,
Yes.
and that was on the tape. So that was on the tape, and then that was shown to the authorities.
Zachary having sex with her was not on tape, but Jeffrey having sex with her is on tape.
Okay. Did you have sex with her?
No.
Okay. So Jeffrey was. I'm sorry. Did you say Jeffrey was on tape?
Yes.
Okay. Did Josh have sex with her?
No.
Okay. So
Rusty.
it was just Jeff. Rusty did too.
Rusty put something in there, yeah.
Okay. And was Rusty on tape?
Yes.
Okay. And then who was videoing you?
Yes.
All right. And then you had the tape, and then ultimately that got turned over to the authorities.
Tape was in the safe,
When you're,
and they came and grabbed that.
who's they now?
The officials off the cruise.
This now, did George and Jennifer actually seem to be happy? Because this is also in Josh's statement, and Josh, you know, from what we can tell, didn't think they were happy.
He's so drastic, man, dramatic type dude, man. I never seen no unhappiness. They were both so drunk and happy. That's how I looked at it.
Okay, all right. Now it's interesting because the statement doesn't include anything about you guys searching for Jennifer.
Yeah,
Did you mention that to them?
I think we did.
And it still didn't get in there?
No.
And how about going back to, because then it just says you went back to your room and went to bed.
I guess that's what the feds were mainly questioning about, because when we got, remember, they just said, well, where does this come up on when your statements don't say that? You understand?
Right. But did you tell the Turks about
Yeah.
going, you did tell them about going to look for George?
Every statement we wrote out and told,
So everything you've told me, you told
Yeah,
the Turks,
we've
including
told-
about going to look for George and going back to Rusty's room.
yeah, going to look for Jennifer, you mean?
Jennifer, I'm sorry,
Yes.
yeah. And then also going back to Rusty's room and ordering the room service.
Yeah,
That
after
stuff
we
was told.
after we put George to sleep, yeah. After we put George in
But
his bed.
for some reason, it doesn't get into your statement.
Yes, I don't know why.
Okay, all right.
No.
You couldn't hear it?
Pay attention to that.
Okay, but you didn't talk to
I
them?
was concentrating on shopping, man.
Okay.
Real
You're a
honest.
big shopper?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. What do you like to buy?
Clothes. I'm a fanatic for clothes,
All right.
jewelry, watches. That's why I'm in here, man.
You don't have to worry about that for a little while, right?
Yeah, for a while.
All right, okay, when you get out. Did you ever see the video that Josh's dad took of his interview?
Yeah, I did on the internet with my girlfriend one time.
Okay, and Josh is making a big deal out of it. He says at one point he's
Like I tell you, he's a melodramatic dude,
Well,
man.
why would he was talking? He was telling the interviewer. There's a quote actually. It says, "You're missing a lot. You're missing a whole large part." Do you know what he meant by that?
No.
Okay. He also
To this
said.
day, I don't.
He said, "Quote: She was with another man." End quote. Do you know who she was referring
Probably referring to Lloyd.
to? Lloyd.
Because
Okay.
we done sat down after that situation happened, us five.
Yeah.
Us five, count Jeffrey in it.
Okay.
And we done talked about it. Like,
What'd you guys say?
what happened?
Yeah.
Man, my opinion and Rusty's opinion is a lot more heavily than Zachary's, Jeffrey's, because like I told you, they did not live the lifestyle or
All right.
chose
What did
to
you
live
guys
like.
think? What'd you think?
Yeah, dude ain't kill himself, man.
Okay.
I
So
look
he-
dead in the camera. Dude did not kill himself.
All right. So he didn't kill himself, and you don't think it was an accident?
I don't think he slipped and fell and at
So
6
what do you-
foot
what do you
4 and
think
flew over the
happened?
boat. Somebody hurt dude, man.
Somebody what?
Somebody hurt him, man.
Somebody hurt him? Do you-
Somebody hurt an
do you
innocent,
know-
loving man. And I've had many nights where I couldn't sleep thinking about what's going on.
Do you have any idea what happened, or what you think happened?
No, I wish I did, cause I've been through enough. Like I've been through enough through it too. You know, people getting subpoenaed on my name to write statements and searching, and people call me a murderer because they don't know the truth. I got the internet blasting my name, detriment of character, a lot of assuming, and people jump to conclusions. And I feel like I got it worse than my cousins did, maybe because of the lifestyle I lived.
Did you have anything to do with George's death?
No, never did, never would, never thought about it. No,
Okay. Did any of your cousins?
no.
How about Josh?
No, I could say no. I don't think he's that type of dude.
You think it was somebody from the cruise line?
Could be. I don't know.
Do you think Jennifer was involved?
No comment. No comment.
Okay. How about Lloyd Botha?
No comment. I can't incriminate individuals that I don't know, but I know George Allen Smith did not disappear or kill himself or hurt himself or slip and fall off a boat at 6 foot 4 or however tall he is and just dive off. I know that didn't happen. So something crazy went down that night. And I hope one day that they find out the truth. And if I could be a help to it, I would. I
But
honestly
you
would.
guys weren't involved.
None of my family, no one was involved. No, we didn't have nothing to do with that besides help this man look for his wife, party with him, put him back to bed, and went to our room.
But you definitely don't think it was an accident.
I don't think it was an accident. No,
And he didn't kill
it
himself.
was not no accident.
No, George was too fun-loving to kill
Man.
himself. Did you get a sense, like with Josh, was he acting hinky, or was it just? I mean,
I couldn't figure him out.
yeah.
One day he's so dramatic, so insy-pincy, daddy's boy type of dude. Now that I really think about it.
Was he involved with Jennifer at all? Like, because
I don't know.
Did you think he had a crush on her? Or?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whenever we did talk about it, or
He seems to defend her a lot.
yeah, but whenever we did talk about the situation or anything that happened, my cousin,
Uh-huh.
everyone would have their own opinion. Most of the time, we didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point, man? Dude fell off the boat. That's how we looked at it at first. But man, somebody fell off the boat. We don't know him, whatever. But it's over with. Let's have fun, you know?
What did Josh think?
I don't know. He always trying to go in depth. I remember me and him. I told the feds this too, man. Me and him went back, walked by the room. There was a dent in the door.
There was a what?
A dent in the door. I think we told the feds that.
Like somebody tried to kick it in?
Or something like that. It was a big dent in
And
the
that
door.
dent, do you remember that dent being there before?
I remember the feds told us there was no dent in the door.
But it was George's cabin.
Yeah, I think Josh said something about it too. I think me and Josh the one that walked down there to walk by the cabin.
And when did that happen, do you know?
I can't recall how. Maybe the next exact day.
But you don't remember a dent when you were bringing him in there?
Nah. And I told the feds that.
Yeah.
I think I did.
Okay. How about Rusty? What does he think happened?
Never talked about it with
Yeah.
him. Never did.
Wasn't there. What were you thinking? Come on.
Poking somebody?
Yeah. Is
Probably
that
was
based
some-
on the way she was acting, or?
No, yeah, that's the first thing that crossed my mind.
Yeah, she was so drunk.
Maybe she went with somebody. Maybe she's having sex with somebody. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's the honest truth. That's what I
Did
thought.
you think of anybody in particular?
Nah.
No.
Even if I did, I couldn't mention it because I wouldn't want somebody to put my name out like
I
that.
understand. I understand.
My lawyer told me from the jump there's no reason to plead the fifth. You didn't do anything wrong, so what's the point?
So you didn't, at no point then did you plead the fifth?
No, I don't think I ever pled the
Did
fifth.
you get brought before the grand jury?
No, I don't remember that.
That didn't happen?
No, I
Okay,
spoke
so
to
you
them
just-
head on.
You spoke to the FBI, you were interviewed with the FBI. So you did talk to the, because someone else told me that only one other person, but you didn't, that only one person spoke to the FBI, but you spoke to them.
That's me.
And you didn't take the fifth?
No,
Okay. So you never went before the grand jury?
no.
Okay,
My cousins all went in front of the grand jury and pled the fifth, along with Rusty, I think.
okay, all right.
I don't know if Rusty did. I think he did though.
You think Rusty pled the fifth?
I know my cousins did. I'll just leave it at
But
that.
they all went. Well, let's stop right there, Greg. So it looks like, at the time, the Turks were treating her as a suspect.
Yes, they were.
Okay, and did you have independent knowledge of that, apart from looking at this statement?
Due to the circumstances, how she disappeared at night and everything, and what my cousins were saying, and we all put in stories. Yeah, in a way, I felt maybe she had something to do with it.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Okay, but obviously the Turks did too, at least.
Turks had an idea, yes.
Okay, do you know what was the basis for their belief that she was?
I don't know.
It could've been just-
Maybe because she was telling two different stories.
Like what? What do you mean?
She was one place, then she was the other. I think she had two sides of a story. I think that was the main concern and problem. Even if you read up on the internet and stuff, that she's in a solarium, or then she goes to the day spa and waits for her husband or something like that. I don't know. One of her stories was. Let me read this real fast. I never
Okay,
seen
go ahead.
this.
Yeah, go ahead. There's an attorney down in Florida. His name is James Walker, and he represents Jennifer. He's Jennifer's maritime attorney. Okay. Now he testified at a hearing that he was convinced or he believed that George was the victim of foul play. Okay. He also stated that he believed that if George was the victim of foul play, that one of the four of you, either you, Rusty, Josh, or Zachary, killed George. Do you have any idea why he would say that?
In defense of her.
Okay.
In defense of her.
Okay.
And any smart attorney would. Why wouldn't he
So
say
he's
that?
just deflecting blame.
I guess so.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe he's trying to put points together. Well, if you could say she did it, then you could say he did it.
So pointing in a different
See,
direction.
exactly.
Okay. But you don't have any idea how George actually died.
No. It's all opinion and guess and life situations that you go through, I guess, to see the difference. I mean, I'm surrounded by murderers, rapists, drug dealers, and all types of day, man. And if anybody had a chance to read up on this story, I bet they would say, listen, something crazy happened here, man. Drunk to realize it.
Okay.
I went out without seeing him. His wife was not there. She'll come later.
All right, then it says
I don't even remember if Josh went back to the room with us.
to Zach. Well, he must have, because he was trying to say you left that room. Remember? Then it says, witness said, I just remember now, George's wife was very drunk and she left earlier with the casino manager, Lloyd. Now this few sentences here is definitely not in your statement. So it looks like it was